Okay, 2:52 a.m. recording on our July 28th day. You might see some bodies back there sleeping on the bus on the way to Rock of Cashel. That might be Pete Doyle, Jerry Laughlin. Rough night last night. Our first stop today was at the Rock of Cashel. It's an old monastery. It wasn't something that we went and toured. We just kind of looked at it, had a stop from the bus. They're doing some reconstruction on it, so they have some scaffolding up there. Kind of a cool place. Then we headed to Cove, to the Heritage Museum, and very somber to see all of the immigrants that went through Queenstown. It used to be a town called Cove, C-O-V-E, and then when Queen Elizabeth came, she deemed it as Queenstown. And so it was Queenstown during the time of the immigration, and then when the Titanic set from there. And now it is back to the Irish name is Cove, which is C-O-B-H. But here are some statues of different immigrants going through Queenstown at the time. And this video I'm going to let you listen to for just a little bit, showing how the immigrants traveled. So as you can see, very rough life for them as they traveled across to America. And this is showing some possessions that some of the people that had died on the way had left behind. That's a walking stick in the background there. Very short looking walking stick. There's a little piece of hair, some coins, a pocket watch, a rosary bead, a medal. There's some books and a little Bible in the back, a little hand Bible, and then some lace. And then this is another video explaining how the Titanic was built. That's Jerry, Pete, and Becca. Watching, I'll let you listen to a little bit of it.
But inexorably, Titanic starts to glide on rails greased with tons of tallow and soft soap. With the tiny figures of shipyard workers dotted along the rails of her upper decks, the hull gradually picks up speed, all of her 24,360 tons accelerating down the slip in an unstoppable ride. In just 62 seconds, traveling at 12 knots, she plunged into the sea, lurching against the drag of colossal chains laid to restrain her headlong rush. All over Ireland, selling tickets to generations of young men and women who could see no future for themselves in Ireland. Tens of thousands passed through Queenstown every year. In 1912, 30,000 emigrated from Ireland, 20,000 to the US, and a further 6,000 to Canada. For most of the emigrants on the Titanic, the accommodation was far more luxurious than anything they had ever experienced before. There was a party atmosphere in the third class as she prepared to leave, the sense of adventure heightened by the luxury of their surroundings. The excitement of the moment, however, could not entirely conceal the underlying sadness of this mass leave-taking. With one-way tickets in search of a better life, the young emigrants were leaving everything they knew behind.
So hopefully the history buffs enjoyed some of that time at the Heritage Museum. This is just a little shot of Kinsale itself. It's a really cute town on obviously the water. And coming up is Marie and Christian doing a little sightseeing this way, that way. Oh, look at the cool buildings. Very charming. It's a cathedral in the background. We really didn't have much time in this town. We just stopped to see the Heritage Museum, grab a quick lunch, and then we had to be back up on the bus about, an hour and 15 minutes later. Then we headed to Kinsale. Kinsale was a beautiful town. We fell in love with it. This is where we were staying tonight. And the first thing that started off was a walking tour. And a gentleman that was very intelligent and great was doing the walking tour, but some of us got tired of the touristing stuff, and so we took off to a pub. And there's Christian, Pam, Jake, Marie. We're heading back to the hotel after a pint of beer, as the rest were still on the tour. But you can see the sailboats in the background. Very charming little town. Lots of cute buildings, little shops, restaurants, pubs, right on the water. Our hotel was really awesome. Coming up, you're going to see Pauline and Rita first seeing their room. as it was a great scenery. And what ended up happening is all of us had a great scene from our room. All of the rooms faced the water. They were on the third floor, so that was really great to see. This is my room with Patty. So we have a great view of the marina also. Then we were heading to church at St. John the Baptist, but on our way we did a little touring, and as you can see, James is finishing up his beer before church, and an unknown source was pulling out her filthy book of 50 Shades of Grey and leaving it. We can't go to church with that. Definitely not. You might notice the clothing and figure out who that was, but she did make it to church. You'll see St. John the Baptist up there. As we're going in, I'll stop the recording until Mass is over. That would only be appropriate to not videotape the Mass going on. Beautiful church. I'll show it to you when we're done. Here we are. Mass is over. Pretty traditional, just like St. Patrick's Church in Imogene. Beautiful paintings on the altar. A little bit different. They had an upstairs that overlooked the altar that people were sitting up in, and so up above you could walk up there, sit down and enjoy the Mass up there. Afterwards we had dinner back at our hotel overlooking the water, and maybe this is boring to some of you, but this is my memory. I guess you're just along for the ride, but I wanted to get this in here with all of us eating dinner and on the water. It was beautiful. A lot of people had salmon. They said it was good. Had a few drinks, and then we had some entertainment downstairs at the hotel bar, so we ended up staying here for the night. And lo and behold, somehow, George McGarvey got the microphone. I'll let you listen to him for a while.
Up inside, I could never be that good, no matter how hard I tried. Then I thought to myself, I bet he's never run a combine, rode the rack, bale and hay. I bet he's never handled a pitchfork on a blustery winter day. I bet he's never pulled a calf, thought of it makes me laugh. I bet he can't run a combine, but man, he can really play. I bet he's never run a combine or rode the rack, bale and hay. I bet he's never hauled corn in on a beautiful autumn day. I bet he can't cut a pig. I bet he's never had to dig the hole for the outhouse, but man, he can really play. I bet he can run a combine, but man, he can really play.
As you can see, everybody enjoyed our hometown hero there, George, singing. And then we got a little fancy foot going, and I set down the camera, and the sisters and I showed those Laughlin moves. We've got the rhythm of Marty and Margaret going in us, as you can see, sadly. But we did a little fun twist and turn. I'll let you enjoy some of the music as you watch these beautiful moves going on. Watch out for the London bridges that the Pauline and Rita pull out at the end. So the downstairs bars closed about 12:30. We decided not to walk back into town. Instead, there's a residence bar, and so that's what you see right here. We had to call somebody up to the residence bar to serve us, but we got a pretty good party starting there. And one of our unknown musicians in the group, Christian Knapp, actually pulled out some piano skills. So I'm going to let you listen to some of that coming up here. He was wildly successful, as you can see. One of the fans came up to tip him. It's officially 2 a.m. and I'm out for another day. See you tomorrow.